You're a smart, entrepreneurial-spirited Christian woman who desires to make a bigger impact for God. You want the right clients and to have the passion for making a positive difference in their lives. You want to develop and or fine-tune what you have to offer and really have solid sales and marketing and online exposure. Have this all working just for you. And you want a community of like-minded Christian women who get you, support you in staying consistent, teach you new skills and strategies that really help you to live out your calling in business and in your life. But sadly, many women entrepreneurs think that their goal is just a dream, or they're surrounded by voices saying it can't be done. These voices, they make you feel alone, unmotivated, and discouraged. These voices are wrong. Entrepreneurs make an impact every single day, but those entrepreneurs know something that you might not. They know that to be successful, they need a support network where they can learn and grow.
Hey there, wise woman. Join Deneen and I as we chat about the benefits of belonging to a Christian women's business community. See which benefit resonates with you and get a sneak peek or listen in as we go through a case study of one of our wonderful members and see how the Calling Clarity community works for her and how it can work for you.
Awesome.
I'm Mary Alore.
And this is DeneenTB. Join us as we give you that sneak peek into the life of our community and the benefits of being connected to other Christian entrepreneurs as you live out your calling in the marketplace. You know, we model our community after those one another or each other verses in the Bible. These one another verses really emphasize our mutual love, our care, and our support within a Christian community. They are the perfect backdrop for building a community working together to do the work that God has called us to do. We have 5 characteristics in our model. And 1 is about building relationships. And 2, it's about inspiring trust. And 3, providing education. 4, offering those leadership opportunities. And 5, appreciating as a member, your contribution. So by striving to maintain all of these characteristics, we endeavor to really foster genuine connections with one another by providing a really spiritually enriching environment where you can experience growth in all areas, personally, professionally, spiritually, especially in your business.
Yes. But before we get into those benefits of belonging into a community, I want to remind everyone to subscribe to the channel if you're on YouTube, and if you're listening, make sure on any podcast platform that you're listening, follow us right away, please, and give us a 5-star rating. And we would love it if you would share this episode.
Oh, that would make me so very happy. It would. You know, let's talk a little bit about this. Christian women entrepreneurs and business owners, Mary, they really do need community, a community that offers a diverse range of events and resources and support systems that kind of blend both the practical business aspects that we do with our spiritual side or our faith-based elements.
Yeah.
So let me ask you that. Which of these things do you think, or do you see a need for in your current business or in your life?
Right. Well, one thing that I learned right off the bat is that mentors, I needed a mentor, somebody who was ahead of me, who could kind of show me the ropes. I know everybody's super busy, but it's not hard to just give a few tips here and there and get you going on a straight path, because there's so many people out there who are telling you like, oh, you should do this, do this, do this. It's like, no, let's just stick with one mentor or a few mentors.
Exactly. And we do need those mentors. And when we're in community together, we can get that. I think for me, one of the biggest things was getting out of my own head, getting unstuck, because I only know as much as I know, right? I only know, I don't know everything. And when I'm having other people, especially kind of some of the events we do with masterminding or our Q&As, I really like the fact that I can get out of my head and I can get unstuck more quickly. Is that a
Right.
thing? More quickly?
Well,
Quicker?
it's true. Yeah, quicker, whichever. It's true.
Mhm.
Whichever
Yeah.
way it is, it's cute. It's true because you get stuck and then you can't move forward with anything, your
Yeah.
goals or anything. So you really getting it gives you that confidence to
Mhm.
get unstuck and move forward.
Yeah, and confidence is so important
Yeah.
because if we're not confident that we can accomplish the goals that we have, if we're not confident that we have the right steps to move forward or the right focus, we're not going to go anywhere. We're going to still sit in whatever's going on inside of our head. I
Right.
think confidence is truly an important thing that the
Yeah.
community can help you with and help you
Right.
to overcome all of those things that are making you feel unconfident.
Right. Absolutely. And the other thing that was important for me was personal development.
Mm,
Even though I had been in a corporate career for my whole life,
mhm.
I had those types of strategies still, but those don't work anymore or they don't work completely when you're on your own as a solopreneur, entrepreneur. You have to learn new personal development skills, like so you can stay consistent.
Right. Especially I think even the landscape has changed where you really are not doing what we used to call the billboard type of marketing. It is more about that
Absolutely
personal
not.
relationship marketing. And
Right.
and that takes a lot more energy. And if we're not developed in being more consistent or having tenacity or working with excellence and integrity, all those
Right.
personal development things that what they used to call the soft skills, because we're a solopreneur or have a small team, we're not going to be motivated to do anything if we're not
Right.
consistently growing that. And I also like the fact that in a community, because there's more people outside of ourselves being solopreneurs or having a small team, we have other people's perspectives. We can get
Right.
exposure to how other people have done it. As you said, the mentor is always a little bit ahead of us. Well, maybe they're ahead of you in one area that you're not very good at yet. So getting those new perspectives
Right.
is also something that I think is a great benefit of being inside of a community.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And one thing that I know a lot of us are introverts who are doing this. So, because a
Speak for
lot of the
yourself.
people,
No.
yeah, right. Not you, Denny, but a lot of people in our community are introverts. And one thing that was very important for me, and I'm still working on, is training, because you offer training in the courses for better communication skills. And
Yeah.
it's so important. You're going to be dealing with clients one on one, you're going to be networking, so you learn how to do business networking, so you're going to be dealing with referrals, everything like that. You need communication skills.
Right. And part of the communication skills is that listening skills, because when you're in a networking situation or environment, you need to be able to listen to what they're actually saying so that you can know, like, and trust them. So you can refer them, and having a
Right.
better way to do that, to practice those
Right.
business networking type of things helps with communication, with listening, with all of those different things. But
Yeah.
my biggest thing that I love to teach is all about goal setting and action steps and having that
Yes.
ability and really creating the habits and routines that really improve your ability to meet the goals that you have and not give
Absolutely.
up. I think that's one of my favorite things to teach, and it's one of my favorite things to practice, because I don't ask anyone to do anything that I don't do
Right.
myself.
Right. Yes. Yes. Definitely. Yes, and you just did a training on that too. If you're in our community, you know that we just did a training because we're right now where we're recording this, it's almost the end of the year and we
Mhm.
have to start our new goals for 2024.
Yep.
So you just did a training on that. It was great. It's good to get started and get thinking about those things. And that's the other thing about the community is that you get support and motivation and accountability because these
Oh,
things
yes.
are coming up. Like we prompt you, we put these things out there, we support you and motivate you to get these things done, like
Yeah.
setting your goals for the new year.
Yeah. And when this comes out in January, I know we're recording in December, but when this comes out in January, we're going to be getting started again with what we call our co-working. And it's a
Mhm.
weekly thing. And that's really where we have our seat in accountability, is that if you want accountability, you can find a partner, you can find someone, because we know that if you have a goal and you actually write it down and then you speak it out, you have that percentage go up to over 50% that you will get it accomplished. So I think it's really important that that's a great benefit, that we don't give up, that we stay motivated. And
Right.
just in being in a Christian community, we know that there are women who
So
understand us, they get us,
yes.
they'll support us, they're our
Yes.
advocates, they're the ones that are on our side every single
Yes.
time.
So important. So important. Yes.
Yeah. So I think that there are so many benefits that are important to us. And we've just gone through a whole list of them. We need these as we work through our businesses. So I just want to ask the audience, what's resonating with you? What did you hear about what we talked about? I know for me, as I said, what resonates with me is the fact that we have co-working. So I have that accountability. Mary mentioned the workshops, the
Yeah.
different workshops that we do are really to help you learn those pieces from other mentors that are ahead of you so that you can do better with the things that you have done. And I think that every one of these benefits, we could say we've solved it in some way in
Right.
the community, whether,
Yes.
I mean, what are some of your favorite things that we've done to solve some of or create some of these benefits?
Well, I love the having other women that are on my side, and that it's not a competitive environment and people aren't just out there to sell to you. They want to actually help you.
Oh,
They
yes.
like, I don't know if you ever gone to a in-person networking or speed networking or whatever through your chamber of commerce, but it is not, there's not, women are not advocating for each other and they're just trying to sell to each other. And
Right.
it's a sad environment. So our community is not like that at all. And that's what I love.
Yeah, and I think that's another piece of the mentor process. I know in business out there in the world, men mentor men all the time, but
Oh,
women don't tend to do that for
no,
one another. You might have a
no,
male mentor, but not a female mentor. So I think that it's a mind shift. And I think that being
total.
inside of this community, that one of the benefits is to really dig into one another. Again, we're one another community, and
Right.
really be there for one another so that we can just have a place where other people get it. And like you said, being accountable, and just they're so happy you just showed up.
I
And
know.
so we just love that. We just love that. Well, really, there are a lot of things that we can talk about. We can continue to talk about when it comes to the benefits and what really resonates with each one of us inside of community. And if you want to put that in the comments, you can.
Yeah.
But let's get into a few of them and find out what's important to people that are viewing us, to people that are listening to us. I would love for you to tell us that. I think that the biggest thing that for me is that we are a Christian group first. That means that we're biblically based. Now, I know there's lots of denominations, there's lots of ways that people study, attempt to
Right.
interpret the Bible, but we're always going to go back to the Bible, and we'll
Exactly.
have a conversation about that. We integrate the value of our faith and putting our focus on God first, even when we start our meetings, right?
Right. Yes, absolutely. It's so important to put our focus on that. I don't know if you've been in other meetings or maybe you're on other committees that aren't Christian based. You know, it can get pretty nasty sometimes. So we do that. We're very Christian focused, and like you said, we put our focus on God first, and that's what we do. Like in co-working,
Hmm.
we pray for our time, then we talk through our accountability. We talk about what we're going to do, what we need to do, and it gives us motivation. And just being there in the same room, even though it's a virtual room, we're still there and we see each other's faces, and it's really great to
Yeah, I
be
mean,
connected that way.
it's great energy. And we have people that are in Ireland and Romania,
Yep.
and then we're in the East Coast time zone. We have
Yep.
people in California, people in Canada. And it's just so exciting to be able to connect with women all over the world who may be alone in that solopreneur type of thing,
Right.
and need that extra support for confidence or to accomplish a goal or anything. My favorite part, as I probably said it before, is the masterminding part, right?
Yeah.
I always say this is my superpower. This
Right.
is like what God designed me to do. I come out with 100 different ideas. Now, I have to just tell you this, Mary. I was talking to someone, just yesterday, and I went back to a mastermind. It took me my memory back to a mastermind I did years ago, and you were there next to me, where someone had a challenge and they brought it to the table, and every idea I had, the person,
Yeah.
he shot it
I
down,
know. I
made an
know.
excuse, said why she couldn't do it.
Right.
I had the
Right.
same experience yesterday, but because I didn't know this person that well, I
Right.
couldn't say what I said to her, because what I
Right.
said to her was, you've just knocked everything out. You're not willing to listen. And I was just like so taken aback about, we have to get out of our own way sometimes. And we have to
Yes.
be able to step back and listen to somebody else and have them help us devise a new approach to it instead of just
Yes.
checking it off. Nope, that's not going to
Nope.
work.
Nope.
I
Nope.
did this, I
Yep.
tried that. It's all this
Yep.
stuff. But,
And
I love the fact that we not only have the mastermind, but we combine it with our networking,
right.
and it really brings more value to that event. We did it you've been with me since I was doing it here locally in the Metro
Right.
Detroit area.
Right.
And now we get to do it online. And it's
Right.
something that I actually thought that I was not going to be doing anymore. And then, like I said, it's my favorite thing to do. But God brought it all back together and said, make the community and everything you've been doing, let's put it
Put it.
together. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's great. I remember that time, but I also remember like I was the one who I was like, that if I wanted to be in your group, because we broke out into small groups, and it was like, I wanted to be in your group because I know you came up with so many great ideas, and I did not want to miss out on that. And
Oh,
not
I
that the
appreciate
other
that.
ladies didn't come up with great ideas, but I don't know. I was like, oh man, I want to be in Deneen's group.
I just know that I tend to like it starts firing, and that's just
Right.
the way God's designed me, that
Right.
it just fires. So
Right.
thank
So
you for
anyway,
that.
I wanted to say that because I just remember that. Like I was like, oh man. But anyways, but so the good thing is that we have that in our community. And I think the other thing that people don't realize is that we have an entire course in the community about that you do at your own pace. It's, you're self-directed, you do it at your own pace, and that it's the course, the Calling Clarity course, where you actually learn how God designed you and what you can do to bring that out in your business or in your life. And we have Q&A sessions every week where we coach and mentor those who are looking for help on that or anything else, really.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize or remember that we do have the Calling Clarity course is where we started, is
Right.
like that we have our 2.0 version that's
Right.
inside of the community, and it's really designed to help you really understand the focus that God wants you to have, that the
Yeah.
direction that he wants you to go, that based on who you are, how he's created you. We call it the mosaic masterpiece model, and
Yeah.
pulling these pieces of your life to really create something that serves others, that who you're supposed to serve. And then we have that 40-day plan, that like step by step of how can I relaunch this or launch it, depending on where you're at, in a
Right.
way
Yep.
that is going to make a bigger impact on those that God's asking me to serve, And
Yeah.
the other thing is, besides having just that one course, we also have a growing library of resources and other courses,
Yep.
things from presentation skills and goal setting and just every piece,
Networking.
networking,
Yep.
I've been creating your 60-second
Yes.
commercial, all of those
Yes.
kind of things. And we have recordings of every one of the Q&A sessions we've had, any workshops we've done,
Yep.
the panel discussions we have with our community members, and the master classes that specific members
Yeah.
have even created. So that highlights who is in our community and what their expertise is. So we're continuing to grow all the time.
Right, right. And about the workshops, I'm really excited because in 2024 we're expanding our workshops. I mean, we've done, content creation, email marketing, goal setting, but this time we're reaching out to our members and we want to get their expertise. Like I'm thinking of Tina, she's going to hopefully she's signing up to do a finance one. She is an accountant, CPA, and she's going to do your business finances. We have spiritual formation, a person in leadership. I mean, those are just off the top of my head. I can't remember them all, but
I know
so our
and we
members
have
are
them
going to give
planned already,
workshops.
don't we?
Yeah, we have it all planned.
I know people are always surprised when I say, "Oh yeah, I've already planned the whole year," and they're like, "What?"
I
I'm like,
know.
"Yeah, I know what the social media is. I know what we're going to talk about on the podcast." Well, Mary and I both know what we're going to talk about in the podcast, and we know what workshops we want to bring into the community from our members because we know their expertise as well. So,
Yeah.
I got another thing. I want to stop and just ask the listeners, ask our watchers, what benefits are starting to resonate with you? Again, I want you to stop the recording, whatever you want to do, and just put it in the comments. What have you wanted for you in your business for a while now that you're hearing that this community could fulfill? What are some of those things that you really want? What things did you never think about before that you
Right.
now see as a benefit to the community?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know for me, and I said this before, if I had found this community from the start, I would not, it would have saved me time. Somebody saved me money, the trial, the error,
Absolutely.
oh my goodness, I can't be here anymore kind of thing. It would have given me
Right.
really the tools that I needed to succeed all in one place, And I
Right.
know with your experience in having your, MBA, my experience having my educational degree, we've got a lot to offer, but the community members even have more to offer. We're just the
Right.
facilitators of
Yeah.
it all. So I want to reiterate to you that of what our community looks like, Mary, when it's done correctly. And so we're going to talk about one of our members. We're going to talk about Angie. She is a member in the Calling Clarity community, and she's made significant strides in the last year or so with us. So I think what's important is we can let everyone know who we are and how this community really wants to help Christian women entrepreneurs and business owners really succeed in building a God-centered business that makes an impact on those that we're called to serve.
I think it really comes down to helping women connect with other faith-based entrepreneurs. We provide the collaboration and we offer what's so important, and what I really needed was professional, personal, and importantly, spiritual growth. And
Yeah.
that's that's what we do.
Yeah, I specifically like the spiritual growth opportunities that we provide. I think of our Bible study. Obviously, we
Yeah.
have prayer before meetings, but we also have a prayer a prayer post every month where
Right.
we can pray for one another, and you can put prayer requests in at any time. And then we have our Oikos fellowship meeting. I love Oikos because Oikos is that Greek word that means family. And that's what the early church believers called themselves, oikos, a family of God,
Right.
that we are brothers and sisters. And in our case, sisters and sisters, because we're all a woman community. And so I think that is so important that we have that part where we can practice how we talk to people about Jesus. We can have communion together. We can do a devotional together. And the other part is, I think it's important, is the guidance on integrating your faith and your business, those decisions that you're making. How do I navigate the challenges from a Christian perspective? I think that's what we also give, not just in our Oikos meetings, but throughout all of our Q&As and our touches within the Facebook community and things like that. And I think that's also why the panel discussions on personal mastery are so important, and that the masterminds for helping you overcome the challenges. And then we have the event called Clarity that addresses some of those hot cultural topics really through a biblical lens.
Right. And I think it's so important that we understand that we do, as Christian women in the marketplace, we do have challenges. unique challenges. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's so, therefore, it's just so important that we're meeting with like-minded women who truly get us, get you, it's a must, definitely.
Oh,
So,
definitely. Yeah.
so yeah,
It's really that place where we need someone to help us navigate what's out there sometimes. It's not like coming away from the world. It's like, how do I prepare myself to be in the world?
yeah. And we have to be prepared. Definitely. That's why, I'm excited that we're going to talk about Angie
Oh,
because
good.
we'll talk about like where she was and where she is now. So, we
Okay.
love
All right.
Angie. We love
Yeah.
Angie.
We
So,
love Angie. Yes, we do. Now, she came to us about a year ago or so, and she was in school at the time. She was getting her master's degree in spiritual formation counseling or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what her degree
yeah,
is called.
yeah, yeah.
And one of the first things we worked on with her was to discover who her ideal client was. Because at first she thought she was going to be somebody in the same situation as her. And at the
Right.
time, you guys were kind of both in the same situation, right?
Right. Yes, she was. Well, she still is. She's taking care of elderly parents. She was taking her mother. So I was doing the same thing at the same time. So that's what she thought she was going to do. She thought she was going to be that help that person, the caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
And she did her ICA questions. She met with people, which is our ideal client avatar. She met with people and she learned a lot. She
And she
learned a
learned that that
lot.
wasn't really the person that she wanted to work with.
Right,
I
right,
mean, not
right,
necessarily exclusively, but that wasn't going to be her push. And we talk a lot about niching down, right? We talk a lot about niching down to that particular person, that specific person at that specific place in their journey. And she found out the caregiver wasn't really the person. And so we have this methodology we call try, adjust, try again. So just because you
right,
have this one set of questions and you find out, do I really want to work with that person or not? No. Well, then you got to come back and go, well, let me try another subset or another pivot of that type of thing. And she ended up landing on just women in the messy middle, no matter what that meant. It could mean
right.
caregiver, it could mean adult children or grandchildren or taking
Mm-hmm.
care of it, whatever it was, they're in the messy middle. And
Right,
so I thought that was really, really good. And I think a lot of times, we think if it's not, oh, that was God's idea. And if it didn't work out, we think we got it wrong. And it's not really that. It's really discovering who who it is that you want to do. I have a quote from her. I'm gonna say it. It says,
okay,
she said, "Thank you, Deneen and Mary. This was an amazing coaching session that totally helped me bring into focus my ideal client. I came back to watch again and make notes for follow-up as I continue to schedule my ICA interviews." So she really took okay, I found this out. Now let me do this. And she wasn't afraid. She had the confidence to go forward and do something different and try it out until she figured it out.
right. Which is so important because can you imagine if she had started like a lot of us do? I did myself, like just started running with what you thought you wanted to do without first talking to people, which is what I did. So she would have wasted a ton of time. Like we talked before, Deneen,
Yeah.
wasted time, money, energy, and then realized, oh, I really don't want to do this and become overwhelmed and then had to change.
Yeah.
So once
Yeah.
she learned what she really liked and she talked to people, she also ended up creating a Facebook group for
Yeah.
her potential clients. Not everyone needs to do that, but it worked for her because of her topic of spiritual formation.
Right. And I mean, that was like a proving ground for her. She really
Yeah,
tapped into what they wanted, how she could serve them. She could ask them questions. People came in and they found out who she was, what she had to offer. And then she created a content calendar and she organized her podcast episodes and all the things that she did. She started to have a plan to follow, and
right,
she knew exactly who she was speaking to. And she'd already had a podcast in the past, but she restarted it. And it was all easier because she now had the content. She knew what people were asking her. She knew who she wanted to serve and how she wanted to serve them.
right.
And it just was, it was just a step by step direction, and it just unfolded. I think it unfolded beautifully.
I think it did too. I really enjoy her podcast. If anybody wants to know, it's called Encouraging Christian Women in the Messy Middle, Realize More with God. And it's just really good. And she really has got it right where, like you said, Deneen, wherever the messy middle might be for you. Because often as women, we're stuck in the middle.
Yeah, there's just so many things that are happening, so many things that that we have responsibilities for.
Yeah.
And we can feel like, oh, we can feel overwhelmed. We can feel like we're the only one going through this. And that's what's great about community, is really having a way to come back and get reoriented and say, okay, all this is happening, but I know God's called me to do this and to serve this. How can I best do that? And not to be down on yourself, not to get down on yourself because it's not working out the way you thought it was going to work out, but it's working out the way God wants it to work out. Because I believe and I see that God uses whatever we need to grow us in Him, to grow us more like His Son. And so God's using us, our businesses, to grow us. Okay, I got to do a win. Excuse me. I do have another quote from Angie. It says, "Hi, ladies. I want to share a big win that all of you are a part of. By your encouragement, support, and lots of other practical help, such as answering interview questions, providing cover art feedback. It's going to be revised later this spring," she says, "rewriting copy for my intro, and the list goes on. Not to mention our weekly Zoom meetings with DeneenTB and Mary Alore that have given me the opportunity to ask questions, strategize, and receive accountability. God has blessed me through all of you. I'm excited to announce that my podcast will launch," and she launched it back in February of this past year, and it's rolling with weekly episodes for now. So again, Mary said what it was: encouraging Christian women in the messy middle, realize more with God. She also has her Facebook group. So if you're interested in spiritual formation, she's a person to connect with,
Yeah.
but even better, connect with her inside of our group. She is just come a long way in this journey. And here she is, as she says, in the messy middle.
Yes, yes. And she's still part of her community, and she's always showing up at our co-working sessions because she says she loves it too. She said she is in the messy middle, and she is still caregiving. So for her, it's like her actual time when she can tell everybody, I have to be online, and this is her time to get whatever she needs to get done.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She really has enjoyed the benefits of plugging in and participating in the community. And as we said, this will be airing in January. We have started our co-working every week. We have it on Wednesdays. And I think for that piece alone, it's totally worth being inside this community. And there is so much more. Right now, Angie's almost finished her master's program. I think she's got like half a semester or one big project or something that she has to do. I know she has connected with an organization that has started sending clients her way. And women are really responding to her podcast and finding help with her through spirit in their spiritual formation. That's what I think is wonderful. We've seen the whole thing with her, and she's taking on as many clients as she can in where she's at. And so I think that is beautiful. And we've gotten to be a part of her adventure, her path, her direction for this last year, because, it does take time, it really does take time to do the things that God's asking you to do. I know so many people out there are like, you could do this in 90 days.
Oh, I know.
It's just so different than that. And we've had that sentiment again and again. I think of Denise, one of our community members, and I think of oh no, I forgot her name, out in California.
Marie?
Oh, no, not Marie.
Jennifer.
Jennifer, thank you. And Jennifer both have had that sentiment. They've said the same thing to us. I thought it was going to be like this. I thought it was going to be
I
quick,
did too.
but God unfolded it in such a beautiful way, and in a way that they are able to see his work in their businesses and not just their work. Of course, it takes effort. Of course, it takes work, but
yeah.
you know, we all need these support networks, really, to the ones that we've developed, the ones Angie developed while we're in community. Those things are irreplaceable for us. And we need to build these types of support networks so that we can have that additional learning, because we don't know everything, the additional connection, because we need to find people that can help other people we come across, the accountability for ourselves, the networking, the collaboration opportunities for people who have the same ICAs, the same, you know, client avatars. They can help. All this helps us to grow our business. And of course, it helps us to grow our faith as well. So let me ask again to the audience, what do you need for your business, your development, for your life? Do you need mentors? Do you need motivation to get moving? Do you need confidence to know that you are on God's path? Do you need personal development? Do you need a new perspective? Do you need training with specific skills, or better business networking, accountability? Or do you just need someone to understand? You know, let us know in the comments what this is bringing up for you. I know you might be like, I don't know, they use that word triggered. You might be triggered. Let us know. It might be a good trigger, like, oh, yes, I need to do that. Or it could be a trigger of, oh, I didn't know I needed to do that. Give us your questions, give us your thoughts. And or has what we've been talking about in community, what can it do for you? Tell us what you think it can do for you. I'd also love to chat with you about how the Calling Clarity community can be your solution. I've got a link. I'll put it down in the description of this podcast, this video, to make an appointment to chat with me. And we don't have a big team. You're going to chat with me directly.
Yeah.
We'll see if we're a good fit for one another. That's the best place for us to start. What about you, Mary? Any last thoughts about what we've been talking about, of the benefits of community?
Well, I think a lot of people might think that they don't have the time to be part of community.
That is a good point.
Because they're, you know, got to build their business and everything. But really, it's just going back to what you said, Deneen. It takes time. It takes time. And I think there's wisdom in taking your time and learning as learning on the way from others who've been there. And remember how patient God is, and how we have to be patient too. We're not, God has a different timeline than us. So, we invite you to check out our Calling Clarity community and what it can do for you. In the description, you'll find the webinar link that talks about connection, collaboration, and cultivation, and how the right community can grow you, very important, and your business. So all of that's going to be down at the bottom. Description.
In our description. I love that. That webinar is great. It's really going to show you how you can really connect to those like-minded people, how you can collaborate, really like collaboration activities, like what does that really mean and what it should look like, right? And really cultivating by having all of this. And I think you hit a really good point, Mary, in saying that people think they don't have time. Yeah. And what I've found is, instead of trying to research everything out there on the Google lands, and the interwebs and all that stuff, is that when you're in community, you have people that have been there, done that, and they can point you in the right direction. That's time saving. That is time saving.
That is such a good point. Such a good point. Yes.
So, and I also just want to tell everyone to remember to follow us here on the podcast. Give us that review. Make sure you subscribe if you're on the YouTube channel. I would love that. This is DeneenTB.
And I'm Mary Alore.
Have a great rest of your day. And as always, be filled to overflowing.